Turn Logan into the dad because he's 14 and obviously he can handle that. So, hey, Logan, is it cool with you if I go for 11 days with my new wife and you just like be a dad to my to my 15 other kids? Are you cool with that? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. You're crushing it.
What's up, you guys? We are back with another video about Sister Wives, you all, and today we are going to be talking about the parentification of Logan per Benjamin. You guys know Kody's nephew has been reviewing Sister Wives, giving his unfiltered and honest opinion about the show and everything, and he really pointed out to the fact that, you know, Logan really was pulled into this whole adulthood thing. He really kind of called out some of the adults. I think that Christine or Janelle said that, you know, when Kody's not here, because this was when Kody was on this little honeymoon with the love of his life, and Logan was having to take care of the kids, and Christine was like, you know, Logan is so much he acts so much older, you know, he's so mature, and he's kind of like the fifth parent when Kody is not here. He's like the man of the household and everything. And that man was sitting down on his couch with his two buns, and he was like, that just isn't how it should be. He shouldn't have to be here parenting all these kids. He shouldn't have to be an adult. He is still a child. He just kind of went off on that. You know, it was so funny because he had his hair in these two little ponytails and his head was like bobbing. I just thought it was so hilarious.
Wait. Who had the two buns? Was it Kody or the nephew?
No, it was the nephew as he was sitting on his couch watching the show. I just thought it was the funniest thing. I was like, this guy is a character. So I'm gonna see if I can put it here.
Recently I saw Kody had two buns on his head. He was doing, showing people how he does his hair.
The hair he barely has. Okay, now.
Listen, anytime I see Kody doing his hair, I'm like, man, maybe I never should have cut my hair. You know, because I was also holding on to my scraps before you cut
when
it.
I cut all of her hair, it fit in one hand. Like this. That's how much hair she had on her head. And I mean, now look at how luscious it is. Like, this is like 2 years of growth.
I need protein treatment.
Yeah. But it like goes down her back.
It needs a bounce, so I need protein treatment. I have to do my henna.
Yeah, but it goes past her shoulders, so it's actually really long now.
Yeah.
But back to the video. I do think that it is not, I don't think it's right, but he stated that it's ridiculous that they had so many kids and they could not take care of all of them. He was like, you know, you should only have enough kids where your oldest child is not made to be a parent. Which for me, I do make sense. Because for me, I just feel like, you know, having 8, 9, 10, 12, 20-something kids, and Logan is having to be the daddy when Kody is there with the love of his life, I do think it's a bit unfair, and I do think it's very telling that Logan and Aspen have said they don't want no damn kids. Not damn kids, but they don't want no kids right now. I think it's an injustice, I feel. Because, I mean, that's just too many kids. I mean, like, I
think that happens with all older children, though.
But you don't want to put
it doesn't matter how many children you have. I really don't think so. I think that...
Coming from the middle child.
Yes, I am a middle child. And I don't know. I think... This is what I know for myself. I had two younger... So it's my eldest brother and my sister... Right, and there's a year between all of us. Everyone has a year except between myself and my sister. There's almost 3 years between the two of us, right? But everyone else is a year between my older brother and my sister. Then there's almost 3 years between myself and my sister. And then there's a year between me and my younger brother, and then a year between him and the youngest, right? So I kind of, even though I was, you know, just 2 years older than the youngest, I kind of took care of them. They kind of followed me around and did what I told them to do. I just feel like older siblings, even if it's just the one child, you kind of, that younger sibling looks up to the older sibling, kind of follows that sibling around, usually will listen to the sibling more than they do to their own parents. And that's just how it is. For the longest time, even with you, even though I'll have a nanny, I had a full-time live-in nanny. Your brother listened to you. In fact, the nanny got really kind of upset about that because he will listen to Mary more than he does to the nanny in my absence. So if she tells him to do something, he will look to Mary to get the confirmation and wouldn't do it until Mary says, okay, let's go ahead and do that now. So I know that when you have a lot of kids, and I only have 2, but I know when you have a lot of kids, immediately the assumption is, oh my God, look at what you're doing to this child. If you go probably and ask Logan now, he hasn't had children yet. That could also be why he's not having any kids, because I kind of took care of my siblings. So it's like I'm not in a rush because I already know what that feels like. But I don't think it's necessarily because they had a lot of children. That's why he fell into that role.
Well,
I think now with parents, now you have 2-parent household. You also have 50% of families are in divorce, right? So I think now it's kind of like everyone works, including the children, as a team so that, mom or dad or whoever is able to bring in the money. So we all kind of work together, helping each other. It's just how things are. I don't think necessarily it's because, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, because I only have 2, and this is how it was kind of in, our household.
I feel like when it comes to Logan and them, I feel like it definitely probably was a bit of a burden to Logan, because I do feel like, one, it's so many kids. Like, it's actually too many kids. And then the thing is, you have an absentee father who's not really there. So it's like, it's not only that, it's different because, it's different when it's like the women and you have an older sister, because it's not like, oh, we have to all depend on the sister because there's other women in the family, there's other mothers.
Yeah.
But I feel like Logan was like the only elder child, and he was
Janelle
a boy
was gone,
as well.
and he had to go to,
and Janelle
work.
was gone, and then of course you had Christine there and all that stuff. So I feel like there was a lot put on him because he definitely had to be getting up early in the morning to take care of these kids, get their stuff ready, make sure they have their food and all this stuff. Because Janelle was out there working and getting popcorn after her shift at the deli or whatever. So I feel like it can be a bit of a burden sometimes being the eldest child, but I feel like sometimes it's tripled when you have a lot of kids. Like for me, it wasn't like necessarily that big a deal. I feel like as the oldest child, you always feel like you have to step in and do certain things because you're like, well, the younger siblings are going, but you just have this feeling of responsibility to do certain things.
That's what I'm thinking. You have that responsibility. It's an older child responsibility.
I know, but sometimes,
and sometimes it's frustrating.
It is frustrating.
It is very frustrating being an older sibling.
Because you have this responsibility on you that sometimes you feel like you don't have your own life because you have this responsibility to do this and do that and all that other stuff.
If mom and dad are going out, it's like, I have to babysit.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes it's like, I don't want to babysit. If mom and dad are not here, I kind of want to just be by myself. Yeah, I don't want a younger sibling coming and bothering me.
Yeah, so I feel like with Logan and Aspen, I do feel like it was too much. That's why they both have really made it very clear that they don't want any children. And I feel like sometimes it's best to kind of make sure that, when you are having kids or whatever, make sure that, it's not where you're putting so much responsibility on the eldest child. I feel like they failed Logan in that aspect because I feel like they had all these kids, but it's all just the religion they were brought up in. I'm sure he's very happy having siblings and all that stuff. I'm sure there's times where he felt like, hey, I wish I had some time to myself. I wish I didn't have to do this or whatever. But in the end, he did come out being a really good man. I do think that sometimes being the older sibling, it helps build up character, helps build up this work ethic and all this stuff and everything. But I do think that it was a bit too much for Logan and Aspen specifically. So I do get what Ben was saying. But I feel like naturally older siblings do get this responsibility, and I think that sometimes it actually can be a great thing for them as well.
And sometimes
but
it's frustrating.
Yeah, I feel
Because
like
I know
it's a
sometimes
love-hate
with you,
relationship with it for
it
sure.
was frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I'm just like, I just need my own life or whatever. But I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. I love my little sibling. I love my mom. She
But you know
didn't
what is
have
so
20
funny?
kids and expect me to raise them all. Like, that's my issue. When you have like, there are some women there that have like 20-something kids and the man ain't around and the older sibling has to take care of the kids and all that. That I feel like is like wrong on so many levels because you're working and then the older sibling has to deal with that. And then also I feel like maybe the adults,
and then
they did their
I kind
best.
of always made sure that I had a babysitter.
Yeah, you always make sure you had a babysitter.
Now we
like,
had to get rid of babysitters a lot because
Rashid was, he was a little something. But we love you, honey.
And so for me, I'm never gonna choose my sitter over the child, right?
Yeah.
So
it took a while to find the right one, which we did.
It took a while to find the right one.
But then when we found the right one, I kind of lost my, I lost my marbles.
Yeah,
a little bit.
She was so upset that, like, he will not listen to her. He listens to her, and then you were also so. You've always been very. I don't want to say bossy. But you've always, like when you were younger, you were quite bossy.
Authoritative, I guess.
Very authoritative.
I like things the way I like things. Like, don't move
You
this.
had everyone in the household on a program.
Well, I've already envisioned how things should go. So it's like when you go, you do something else, I'm kind of like, you're messing up the vision that's in my head that you can't see.
Yeah. Mary was the kind of child that you wake up in the morning, okay? Like, I homeschooled them, so...
I remember I used to write you little notes before you went to work. I'll be like...
Right. It's like I give the stuff for them to do, and then she'll always kind of look at my program and be like, okay, I actually kind of revamped that of how it can be done better and more efficient. And then she'll have her own. And whatever I asked her to do, she always did that and some.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she always... really wonderful child, and I think that he actually made you very disciplined, very hardworking, and so you're just a different kind of child.
Yeah, really. I feel like it has pushed me to get into a lot of different avenues and to always strive for greatness.
It's funny because my mom, who was the youngest child, she was always like, well, Mary, stop always telling him what to do. I understand where he's coming from because she was the youngest child of a family of 10. So but I think older siblings are gonna be like that. I don't think it's a parentification of Logan or Aspen. That's not what I think. I just feel older siblings, they'll always be kind of like a parentification of the eldest child. It doesn't matter whether you have one child or two children. That's what I just
think it matters the degree of it. That's what matters.
I see what you're saying. Instead of making that one breakfast, you're now making 5 breakfasts.
Or you're making 20.
I got you.
Then it's like you can't get up when you want to. Like, you have to get up mad early.
Yeah.
But anyway, y'all let us know what you guys think down below.
What do you guys think about this?
And we'll see you guys on the next video.